I like the feeling of unity and oneness, a collective intelligence, that when it comes together, it can only do that with a common feeling of a high vibrational love, unconditional love and light. That's what unifies the collective intelligence. That's what gives life. We can call it as many different names as we want. We can extract the pieces from it that resonate with us. And that is not only, as I mentioned in the meditation, your divine right, it is your divine responsibility to take that which resonates with you and use it as guidance. And even if you're in a community of very solemn and strict and similar dogma, even each individual person has their own belief system, has their own values, knows what's true to them based on their collective experience and what's in their DNA. There isn't two people on this planet of 7 billion that have the exact same precise feeling and belief of what their life is all about. It's unique to each and every person. Even in this room, as I'm talking and you're all nodding your heads, each of you still has your own precise way of believing what you believe, knowing what's true to you, whether you use a completely faith-based method or a completely scientific-based method or some integration of the two, because in my mind, science and spirit are one. It's just a different way of looking at it, a different approach. You go in the front door or you go in the back door, but if everything is creation, and nothing is just there, everything got created on some level, then everything from every aspect, somehow or another, collects energy and gets created. We are energy. We're joy and we're love, and we're unconditional, divine energy working together. The other religions, which are called dharmic-based, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, they are not so much one deity, they are not monotheistic, but they are about the balance of life. And those religions talk about karma and unity and living your life and understanding that everything you do has another side to it. And so they talks about the balance of universal energies, that if there is one over here, there must be another over there. And so to live a good life and to ascend, we create balance. And so they believe in the recreation of life from different circles and many, many thousands of lifetimes, that if there is something over here, there must be something over here, but it's all about balance. Hinduism being the oldest religion, originating in the Hindi Valley. Buddhism came around about 500 years BC, Jainism about 420 BC, and Sikhism about 1500 AD. Each of them having their own belief systems and structures. And the third area called Taoist, which is where we have Taoism, Shinto, and Confucianism, based on the teachings in Japan and China. Taoism and Confucianism are more philosophies and are considered the sacredness of secular. And so it is without any kind of deity, but it is a philosophy and a life form. And that's why those philosophies can actually transcend other religions, because it is simply about being clean, being good neighbors, having family values. They're very humanistic in their forms. Shintoism does believe in deities, Mother, Father, God deities that give life and created family. And then we have the Native American, the Aboriginal ones that are very earth-like and connect to Mother Earth. But even though you take the expanse of the 6,000 years of when there were belief systems all over the earth, whether they have a theistic, a monotheistic, a polytheistic, or a non-theism approach, there was one common denominator, and that is how to have peace and harmony, how to have a good life, how to be in the right, seeking guidance, seeking growth, knowing how to conduct ourselves. It's all about how to conduct ourselves as humans. And at the end of the day, there's one common word that is woven through all of them, and we know what that is, don't we? It's love. There isn't one of them that sets that aside and puts it in some other context. So are we really more alike than we are different? Of course. Those 12 major religions, which I wear on my interfaith thing here, because it reminds me that we're all one, that our belief systems may look very diverse. And it's why we created the Temple of Light. And it took me 4 years to actually hear the word Interfaith Community Center. There are interfaith councils and gatherings that seek to unite the different leaders in the different religions, but this is Orange County's only actual interfaith spiritual community, where each week we look at and understand all the different religions of the world, because they represent human beings seeking to be in unconditional love and light. That is the basis of all religions. Some have a promise of an afterlife, because some cultures needed a reward. They needed a reason for doing things. Other cultures didn't need a reason. It was okay just to do good for that reason. Whatever it took in that culture to get people looking at their own conduct, looking inside, establishing value systems, creating ethics, creating compassion, creating a sense of community, establishing the values of family and understanding that, coming together to create buildings and farming communities. Whatever it took to get people on a path of doing right was the religion or the flavor of that day. Some of those religions are very structured and have maintained their belief system over the changes of culture. Others are extremely diverse. Christianity is so diverse, even some aspects of Christianity look completely different from other ones, and you'd almost never guess it was the same religion. Still, at the end, it's all about being in a place of love. So look at the card that you drew from the deck. Did everybody get a card? Some entity, some being, some divine nature has a message for you today. I want you to take this card, hold it on your heart. Would you tone a little bit? And whether you believe or not that we have many lifetimes, whether you believe or not that there is a life, an afterlife, whether you believe or not there are many different dimensions and vibrations, that we exist as energy, the message on your card, whether you believe or not in the person, place, or energy that is giving you this message, choose to look at the message. And whether you believe or not it was divinely guided personally for you, simply look at the message and ask yourself if there is some truth in it for you, if there's some meaning for you. In spirituality, we do not seek to be told what to do. We seek to ask questions. We don't read dogma or creed. we seek to open our minds and understand everything. We seek to question all that is, because the more we question, the more we know. The more we know, the more peace we get. The more we question, the more questions we find. The more we learn, the more we realize there is to learn. The more knowledge we open ourselves up to, we realize how much more knowledge there is out there to have. And it's exciting to know there is so much out there to know and expand and learn. So take this card into your heart, and whatever the phrase is, ask yourself if it has some personal meaning to you, that if you studied this meaning and asked yourself, what if this were true, what if I did this, how would my life improve? And it almost doesn't matter which card you take, because each of the cards in this deck are such positive, loving greetings of love and improvement that we could probably take each card and individually hold it to our heart and find some personal meaning in it for us. But take your card and take your personal meaning, asking God, the universe, intelligence of all that is, your spirit guides, your angels, whomever you commune with, ask them now what meaning this card has for you. And as we call in all the founders of all these great belief systems, as we honor them, appreciate them, and send them our love, Moses, Abraham, Baha'i, Zarathustra, Jesus of Nazareth, all of those that walked before us, Confucius, Lao Tse, Sri Guru, of all the different belief systems, all of these people, their followers, those that worked with them, they had the courage to stand and say, there is a life guidance system that you can use that can give you peace and harmony and help you to live a good and loving life. We appreciate you. We call you in and ask you for a guidance into how to live a better life every day. It doesn't matter who you call in, who you look to for guidance. Simply ask for the highest guidance that is relevant to you, that resonates with you, that has meaning for you, that resonates in some way with your belief system and who you are. Whether it's the universe, the intelligence of all it is, or whether it's one deity or personality, ask that it simply be for your highest and divine good. Take as much time as you want. if anyone would like to have their card personally interpreted for them, I'd be happy to do that for you. And if you'd like to just keep it private, that's perfectly fine too. Whatever suits you.
Just quickly, maybe just.
Right?
Yeah.
You do a lot of technical writing, like work writing?
No.
No?
Spiritual, right.
Okay. The message was do more spiritual writing. It looked like you did more technical writing at work, but the message is definitely do more spiritual writing. And it's not, I'm not getting journaling, I'm actually getting like research and writing and studying it, like academic kind of spiritual writing. Like for your own personal knowledge and thirst, for your own exploration. Does that make sense? Because you're somebody that likes answers, and so, as I was mentioning in the meditation, the more we know, the more we realize we don't know, the more we learn, the more we realize there is to learn, and it'll help you really open your mind to just expansive thought. Anybody else?
I have persistence.
Persistence, and who's the
L-U-G-H.
L-U-G-H? Luke, okay. Persistence. He's showing me that sometimes you start a project and it isn't so much that you give up, but you course correct. And it's coming from a lack of complete and total confidence in yourself that your initial thought was the right path. So do you second guess yourself and switch gears a lot?
I don't know.
Okay, so this is about trusting your instincts, that whatever you start, your initial thought process, stay with it. Be persistent with it, rather than second guessing yourself and changing gears. Make sense? Anybody else?
It's Horace. You are seeing this situation accurately.
Okay. And there's something that is going on with you that you're seeing it, as the card says, you're seeing it accurately, but you don't like the conclusion, and so you're asking yourself if you're missing something, and you're not missing something. It is the way that you see it. And if it's uncomfortable for you to ask the universe to show you the universal perspective on it so you can see its greater meaning, and then you'd be less resistant to seeing what it is. Does it make sense to you?
I'll meditate on it.
Okay. It's something that you're working on.
Okay.
It looks like a document or something. I'm seeing you at your computer. It looks like something that you've been working on.
Okay.
Okay. Something that you said, it doesn't make sense to me. You read it. You read it. Yeah, you got it. You read it. You understood it. Then you sort of backed off and said, "No, that doesn't make sense." But you did see it accurately the first time. See the greater meaning in it.
Yes. Okay.
Good. Teacher. Cozy. This is about your future and who you are. You like to help people. You like to show people the way to do things. You figure things out, and you love to share. I know you have younger siblings. Do you work with them a little bit with their homework and things? Yeah. This is kind of like showing you the way that you definitely have leadership qualities in the academic and teaching form, that you like to figure things out, and then the first thing that you do when you like to figure it out is like to turn around and share it with somebody, and that makes you a natural teacher, because a teacher is somebody who learns and shares, and so for you to trust that's a great instinct and a very honored way of living a life. Anybody else?
Focus upon your strength. Apollo.
Focus upon your strength, Apollo. When he comes in, it's about you actually going in and having inventory in yourself. When he comes in, this energy means that you're doing something that is not your strongest strength. And when we are working with something that is our strongest attribute, life is easier, things go faster, things go smoother. When we're working on things that are not our strongest attribute, we tend to have more struggle. Things go slower and they trickle in more. And so if you want to see things in your life come up more abundantly, really ask yourself, and it's the three really question: what do I really, really, really want to do? When you ask yourself that question, it will resonate with you. That is in your area of strength, and you'll know when you get that answer. You're like, okay, I knew that. When you get into that, all of a sudden things will move much quicker for you. Does that make sense? Anybody else? What you got?
St. Germain's work for magic.
Saint Germain, working magic. Sacred geometry comes through. I'm seeing triangles, tetrahedrons, cubes. This is about balance for you and pulling in your own energy. You actually are a great energy worker, and if you start working in this field, you'll start seeing sacred geometry coming into you. You have a lot of, he's saying in your home, you arrange things in very strategic. If you go home and look at your house, the way you arrange things, you'll actually see that you've put things in geometric shapes. Does that make sense to you?
I do.
It's very natural to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take charge of the situation, Moses.
Powerful message.
Powerful.
Okay. Yes, yes. What situation in your life is overpowering you, that you have given all of your power away to, that you've allowed to be, that you've allowed to believe is bigger than you. Okay? And that's really depleting your energy levels. Okay? And it's not that when we think of something that's overpowering us, that we have to rise up and go into battle with, because that even takes any more energy. It's simply seeing it as something that only has power because you're choosing to give it power. And it's the lack of confrontation. It's being at peace with it and understanding what it's trying to show you. Then it empowers you rather than overpowers you. It's a matter of putting a different perspective on it. Does that make sense for you?
Very good, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Marty?
You can do it, Archangel Michael.
Oh, he always shows up at least once in the cards. This is encouraging you on your spiritual path. This is encouraging you to actually move into the profession of being a healer. We're all healers. Healing simply means changing for the better. Healing doesn't mean fixing something that's wrong, because we don't like to see things as wrong. Things just simply are in the universe. So when we use the word healer, we mean changing things for the better. You are absolutely, in every way, destined to be someone who helps other people. And he's just encouraging you to know that you've got the confidence and the wherewithal to do it. And he's just saying, come on, Marty, let's get this going. You can do it. We're never going to get to a place where we make one decision that we're like, okay, good, I'm done. The next day, something else is going to come up. And it's our perspective on how we choose to look at that and just say, that is life. There's always going to be something coming up the next day, and it's just another decision to make. Make the decision and wait for the next one to come up, and enjoy the decision-making process rather than lamenting over it and finding it exhaustive or confusing, or something that feels like it's overpowering you. They're just decisions. Anybody else?
Isis, balance career and home life.
You got that card before. Somebody else did recently. Yeah. This is similar to the other card about getting focused. This is really you're kind of all over the place, and you're feeling a little bit tired. Take care of yourself a little bit better. Create that balance. You've got the balance in the home life, but you've got too much of a swing towards career, and he's saying that you're excited and you're all over the place, and you're like, yeah, I had it all in, I want to do this, and I want to do that, and that you're having fun. You're definitely having fun with everything you're doing, but maybe look at the ones that are the most important, and pick those that actually nurture you rather than drain you. And just take a look at and inventory those that maybe aren't giving you as much energy as you're putting into them. Does that make sense? Well, I got Paul the Venetian, artistic expression, and I know for me, I've been the last couple of weeks really deciding that I haven't painted anything in 5 years since I formed the temple, so it's time for me to start doing some personal crafts and relaxing and having that time to myself and not being so of service every single waking moment. It's about time to pull back for me. Does anybody else feel like they're doing everything all day the minute they wake up? Are we taking time for ourselves? It's not an act of selfishness, it's an act of divinity to nurture ourselves and recharge our batteries. We must recharge our own batteries so that we have the ability to give to others infinitely, rather than looking for them to give it back to us. Keep the generator on in here, and we do that through not looking at things that are draining our energy, or not taking time to give to ourselves, lamenting over decisions, contemplating them too much, doubting our own instincts, doubting our own self-worth, doubting our ability to be in balance, to give to ourselves. Come back to center. And in the spirit of today, if we can look at Buddhism and Taoism, that both talk about what they call the middle way. Not giving too little, not giving too much, but finding that perfect balance in your life. The way you can wake up and say, I've taken care of this, I've taken care of that person, but I've also got balance and I've taken care of me. And I know what that looks like and what that feels like. Anybody else want a card interpretation? No? You all good? Something else? As we pass out the giving envelopes, you can just put your card back on the plates. And these are lovely cards. I do have them in the gift shop if you're interested in getting a deck. Some of the wisest people, beings that are there. So thank you all. We just finished. We just barely fit in this room.
Can I share this few minutes of bhajan?
I'm just about to do some announcements, if that's okay. I'm just about to do some announcements.
What is that?
So we have some wonderful events coming up on the first Saturday of February. Our normal Holistic Healing Fair is going to be the New Earth Expo, so it'll be about twice the size with twice as many vendors, and we'll have the drumming circle and music and the food trucks here. There'll be lots of new people for you to see and things to shop with. The Green Valentine, Dave Enlightenment, is going to be here February 9th and 10th. And all of the proceeds from those events go to the temple, but also the Nam Yoga Foundation. But the bulk of them are going to the Orange County Development Center, which is helping kids who are, when they reach 18 and they leave the foster care system. Maybe you don't realize, but when children are taken out of abusive homes and put into a foster care system, at 18, they're turned loose. And their support and their foster care families are no longer funded. And how many 18-year-olds do you know are ready, willing, and able to go out and all of a sudden get a job and pay rent on an apartment and fend for themselves? So this Orange County Development Center for Children, this charity organization, funds the continuing support of children in foster care. And so the bulk of the proceeds from that event are going to that foundation. And David Newman is going to be here singing. There'll be all kinds of speakers and all kinds of fun tables. So please put that on your calendar for February 9th, the Saturday evening, and then all day Sunday on the 10th. It'll be in the sanctuary, and we're weaving in the Sunday services into that event. We've got some other wonderful concerts coming up. Yours is the third Friday of the month.
Yeah, so this coming Friday.
This coming Friday.
Sound healing concert here.
Seth is a sound healing concert in the loft. We have a lovely lineup of yoga classes, and the Academy of Light, our spiritual holistic healing certification classes. We're in the middle of one right now. The first one is Theta Healing, and some of the students are in here. We're having a wonderful time in there these 3 days, getting in connection to the universal energy of all that is. It's our job and our pleasure. Myself and Seth, Alyssa, and Tanya, and Kim, and Hideko, who's been in the hospital recently, we worked very hard all day, all 7 days of the week, creating this center, creating the classes, creating these gatherings, the concerts, and the events, to do what in our belief system is to help you find your spiritual journey into yourself, creating a forum that you can come in and do that. So we appreciate your donations. The support that the community gives us is what enables us to be here. Your donations we receive with gratitude and appreciation. We bless them and ask that they come back to you tenfold. And as always, we promise to use them with wisdom, dignity, and integrity. Thank you so much. And please stay and visit, introduce yourself to somebody new. Trav here, who I invited especially today, is of the Baha'i faith, and he has brought some food. There's all kinds of food in the kitchen that he would love to share with you. Trav, would you like to say something in particular about World Religion Day, since it's from your faith? This is Trav Williams.
Thank you, thank you.
Trav used to play the flute for us a little while ago last summer, if some of you remember.
I'm sure I will sometime again. Wonderful to be here, and thank you so much, Reverend Danielle.